Welcome, my Zentangle friends. I'm really glad you're here today. Every once in a while, a tangle comes along that just becomes your mac and cheese tangle, and this is mine. I love Toodles. I have from ever since they came up with it, Zentangle Headquarters, probably in 2018, guessing here. Anyway, Toodles is a lot of fun. I've grabbed all my supplies. In fact, I've got my Mono Zero handy too. You can buy this at a hobby store. In fact, all the things that are in front of me, you can get at a hobby store. So let's get started. I want to show you an example of something that I did with this very fun pattern along the way. And I'm going to post how to do this in the description box, which is also where you can find the other things, the papers that I happen to be working on. And I thought this was so much fun. I did something very similar in this past summer. So it does not have Toodles in it, but it has this in it. And then here's one other that I did a few years ago with Toodles. Isn't this the most fun pattern ever? Anyway, I think so. I hope you do too. So I will, like I mentioned to you, I will post this for you. Let's get started with how to do this fun pattern. You're probably going to not have to even worry about working in pencil. And I'm going to work off a smallish printemps, which is just, as you can see, I'm going around and around and around in the middle because I want to do my Toodles off of this, and I'm quite sure you're going to have a good time doing Toodles today. Let's just take it one step at a time. Just take our time, relax, and enjoy this limited time that we have together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a long stick off of the side of this printemps. So, pen or pencil, your call, of course, but and you see my stick has a bit of a wave to it. When I get to the end, I'm going to come all the way back and I'm going to spread this out just a little bit. See how these are spread out a little here? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back, but I'm going to spread out a little and probably meet up back at the end. Here's my next step. I'm going to come out and make a wide arc. Watch. I'm going to come out, make a wide arc, and then come back with a tiny teardrop. Darken your tiny teardrop. Do another one on the other side, about the same height as the first one. Out, arc, and that one's a little different, and I like that. I like the differences though. And it is kind of like a leaf and very natural in that way. Now, I'm going to come from the top and end up down here. But how I'm going to get there is out and then back around. I love air drawing. Out, wide, and back around here. If you want to watch me, go for it. Otherwise, follow along. I'm going to go out, wide around that teardrop arc, and back in. Is this easy? I hope you think so. I will always have thought you would. Okay, same thing. Air draw it if you like. As you can see, these are different. This can be different too. Everybody has their own style. Out wide, 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 beyond, around the arc, and back. I think this is fun and easy. Once you get the hang of it. I'm not saying, nobody starts at the top. Everybody learns first, and they might get real frustrated. So don't do that to yourself. Just take your time. Let's do another one. I'm going to make one going this direction this time. So remember how I start here, and I'm going to end up here somewhere. Make a pen dot if you like to aim for. Out. And then remember, we're coming right back in, aura, but wider. Wide as you want, although too wide is weird, so not too wide. This is going to be tricky this time. Okay, the first thing I'm going to arc out, remember, from about here. I'm going to arc out and complete my teardrop. I'm going to do the other side too, but this one's going to be hidden. So my arc is on the other side, pen dot if you like, and it's going to be hidden. You can't find it now. So now we're going to be able to finish this off even though you can't find this arc here. Start at the top, air draw if you like, and end up back here. Wide around the arc and close it. This one, as you know, is going to go behind, wide, underneath, come back out. Voila! What do you think? I hope you like it. I do. I like it. I hope you do too. Okay, let's do another one, and that's going to come down here. I'm going to start on my little printemps again. Come out. I love this pattern. And back in. Tie it off or don't, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. And this time it looks like I've allowed myself plenty of room on each side. So I'm going to come up a little bit here. Wide arc, teardrop. Do it again. Wide arc on the other side and teardrop. Ooh, that teardrop even looked like the other side. Well, voila. Starting at the top. And if you're not happy sometime, you can easily extend this top a little more. If you think it was too short or something, Zentangle is very flexible this way. Okay, starting here, wide arc, around the teardrop and back in. At the top, wide arc again. Looks like I may have to go underneath just a tiny bit. But I want to aim for closing these two off. Okay, I don't want to do one here because it would be totally hidden. It's just the way it worked out today. But one thing I like to do, because this is a keepsake, and remember I'm going to put this in a ring binder at the end of all of the patterns that we did together. So I'm going to make these little tiny sticks. If you have enough room, you could do little tiny orbs. Orbs are just circles, but you see in Zentangle speak, we really don't talk about little circles because, as you and I know, circles are perfect and orbs are more flexible. At least that is the Zentangle speak philosophy. Here, I'm going to make this one with tiny orbs in it so that you can see the variety. And of course, there's more. You could do one solid. That would be cool. Now, I'm not going to have enough room for orbs at the top, but how fun is that? I think I'm going to put a little frame around this. I'm going to start wherever, same as you will, and I'm going to start maybe here. Already has a frame, but sometimes it's just fun to do an extra little bit if you have time. And then I'm going to do a second line that kind of goes over, maybe even smooths out my first one a tiny bit. You see how I kind of go over once in a while? Too much coffee this morning, and it's really showing up. I'm enjoying our time together. I hope you are too. This is very, very fun and a very fun experience. So I hope you like doing that. I do want to put some lines in here, like going underneath. Before we shade this sweet pattern that we just did together. And let's shade. So I have my trusty Zentangle pencil. The places that you shade are inside of this arc that we made, pretty much toward the top. And I like to shade here too. just on one side, but you could do both if you like that look. You can't, shading can be overdone, but it rarely is. Always try to work into the ink with your pencil. And because of that, you kind of want to keep your pencil toward the side. I'm going to shade in the arc. I'm going to shade along the middle rib, one side, pushing the pencil lead in. Where this went over, I'm going to shade on the outside edge here. And where this went over, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to shade on the outside edge. I have a little different treatment when we get over to the poem that we're doing together. And then you see I've gone along the outside here. I could go along both sides of the outside. That's up to you. Personal preference, but I at least want you to get the look of it. And then the wonderful, wonderful thing, the blender stump. Again, available at the hobby store. They're very, very inexpensive, but a Q-tip does just the same. And all I'm trying to do is smudge and push that out, that pencil lead out into the paper. You can start anywhere you like. Just work your way around. Push and smudge and soften. That is what the blender stump does for us. Or Q-tip, and I've seen people use their finger too. That easily works. If that's what you have to work with, that works just fine. I also, like I mentioned, think a Q-tip is a really good idea. That shades in a pinch. Sometimes on a trip, I don't have any blender stumps for whatever reason. And I've been known to just grab a Q-tip. Or people have told me they just want to use their finger. So, let's see. Did I get it all? I think so. How fun. Okay, so I've already added this to the paper that I'm doing because some of you are not downloading the poem, and that's just fine. So here was our first day, our second, third, and here's our fourth day with Toodles. I think it's a great leaf and a nice compensation to go in with this first pattern, which I quite loved, the festoon. Alrighty, so when I did this is 8 by 10, and I put a line around the outside of mine, so I will be working right up to the line on occasion. Today, I don't feel I need to use a pen, or pencil, excuse me, but I'm going to start right in here with my Toodles. So I'm going to come right off my festoon with a long stick. And then remember, I'm going to come from the bottom and I'm going to come out and make a teardrop. And the other one is going to be nestled in there and you're not going to be able to see it from that angle. So we'll just pretend. From the top again, remember we go out and wide and back in and land here. Out, back in, and land here. Do it again on the other side. Out, go behind. We want to land here. We just can't see what's happening under there. Let's make another one, go another direction. Another leaf, come out of here. Back in, as wide or as skimpy as you want. And then we've got to make our 2 teardrops. Teardrop 1, teardrop 2. I'm going to start at the top. Remember, go wide, and this one's going to go underneath. And back. Underneath. Isn't it pretty? I think it's so pretty. I want to do another one, okay? I want to do another one going this direction here. You can make this as long or as short as you want. Teardrop. And teardrop. Start at the top. I bet you got the hang of this now. And back. Let's put those little sticks in the middle. And you know what? You could darken every other one, and that's really cool looking too. Do you know what I mean? Like every other one is dark and then light and dark and light. And they get quite dinky here. Okay, this time I'm going to do a little bit of a different treatment. I'm going to cut out a corner. Watch. I'm going to come down low and back in. I'm going to do that on all three. I'm going to cut out and then back in, out, and back in. And this is a nice area to put something in. But what I'm going to do today is use my 05, and I'm going to darken behind here. We need a little drama, and this is a little drama. So we'll get the drama in here, and you know, you can certainly use your 01 or whatever pen you're using, but a little bit of drama never hurt. I sure hope you're enjoying this. I know I'm enjoying my time with you very much. And let's get a tiny bit of shading. I know you got things to do and places to go, but I want to shade along here like we did before. I want to shade in the top area. Oh, I love this pattern. This was a huge gift when I saw this on the roster this time. Everybody has a mac and cheese pattern, and this is mine. Well, one of mine. I have students that come to my house once in a while, and I always say, and they laugh, because I love this pattern, I say. And then they look at me with cross eyes because I say that about just about every pattern. So they've learned, we've learned. Get some shading inside those underneath. See how that changes it when you get that shading in there and let it push down? Do it again. Let it push down and thin out. That's it. Let this shade out and push it into the paper as well. And then one last one here. There. Oh my goodness, didn't this turn out pretty? I love it. I hope you love yours. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for sharing and being here. I appreciate it very much. See you soon. Bye.